Hey guys, this is Pastor Mel, and I just need to tell you something real quick. Divorce is real. Furthermore, I decided to have one, and I recommend that you do the same. Yeah, that's right. Divorce yourself from every excuse and every self-imposed limitation that has literally already cost you decades, dreams, and destiny. Now, don't get me wrong, nothing's more beautiful than unity. That's only when we're unified with the purpose that our Father created us. And when we're walking within the musical harmony of divine connections with like-minded people. That's people who want what we want and who value what we value and who are more than willing to lock arms with one another to help each other get to where we can get to together through mutual support. Listen, there's something going down right now, y'all. I hope that you don't miss it. If it's in you, then you know who I'm talking to. My partners and I are like family, and this thing we got is thicker than blood because it's made in the spirit. And it's in the spirit that we decided to make some changes. How do you feel about these changes? Are you ready? Let us know if you need a spot at the table. We're about to participate in a halftime of a lifetime. It's winning season. Father's favor.
Well, good evening, everyone out there in Facebook land, YouTube land, whatever and wherever you're streaming from. Good evening. My name is Tanya Evans Barnes, and I am your hostess, always doing the mostest on tonight's video presentation. Now, let me tell you something. I just want to share with you. Is anybody scared of something? What is stopping you from living your best life? Well, we're going to talk about it tonight. But first, before we go on, I want you to click like and click share from wherever you are. Good evening, Minister Carol Walker Pittman is in the house. Good evening, Donna George is in the house, and welcome. Good to see you. I see you, sis. Carol Caspar out of Ohio. Good evening. Hey, y'all. You know what we're doing. Click like, click share. Get everybody in the room. Grab your cheering around, because I'm going to introduce to some of you and present to you most our Pastor Mel Keys out of San Antonio, Texas. Shout out to my J Howe family. Can't wait to see you coming this March. I'm so excited. He is a 3-star director. Now, he is making ching-ching in this business. I'm talking about he's going to drop some knowledge, some good nuggets for you tonight. Pastor Mel Keys, he's married to the lovely Queen Kendra. Shout out to Lady K. Pastor Mel, where you at? Come on in the room tonight.
I'm up in this joint. How you doing, baby girl?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Quite well. Always greater in your company, though.
All right.
And I see that we have our lovely friends showing up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you in the lobby. Don't go too far away, because I'm going to have you to close this out. Thank you so much for all you do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this party started quickly. Thank you all for joining us tonight. She's already said it. Go ahead and share. Sharing is caring. Go ahead and share, because we're going to be talking about fear. Does fear live there? Sheldon, it's good to see you. Thank you for chiming in. Much love. And we're going to make it do what it does on tonight. Let me see if I can get my slides up. Before I go any further, however, I must do this. We have a number of things you'll need to go ahead and register for. One of them, of course, let me just put it up this way. One of them, of course, is our $300 airline gift card that we're going to be giving away. In fact, on the 24th, on Christmas Eve, we're going to give another one away. And we hope that that'll be you. However, what's even more important than that, I think it's more special. The value is greater. It can be as much as $1,300 of value. That is the getaways that we've been giving away. And some of them include areas like Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, Hattie Atkins, good to see you. All of those destinations combined with about 20 plus U.S. destinations. The U.S. destinations are 4 days, 3 nights. And the ones in Mexico, they range from 4 nights all the way up to 5 nights. And they're yours for the taking. Here's what we need you to do. We need you to text the word travel feedback. Dr. Glover, good to see you, man. Text the word travel feedback. No spaces in between, no hyphen. Just put them right next to each other. Travel feedback to the number 888-532-269. And you're going to get a link to watch a video connected to a 14-question survey. You complete that 14-question survey, and you're going to be entitled to one of the destinations. It's going to blow your mind. I mean, we've had so many rave reviews about people who have taken us up on the offer. They've given us their feedback, and they have gone or have scheduled Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, to name a few. And some of them have chosen U.S. destinations. And the reason behind those, I think most of them anyway, is because they didn't particularly have their passport. But if you got your passport, I recommend going out of the country to the Cancun. You can't beat those. Those are simply amazing to me. Let me share with you very quickly one of the examples of the types of things that you'll be getting in the getaway. Let me go ahead and put that up on the screen real quick for you.
Cancun Riviera Maya. Wow! It's one of the hottest locations in Mexico. 5 nights at the 5-star Vibes Resort. You're gonna love this beachfront paradise. Deluxe luxury accommodations, 7 outdoor pools, a world-class spa, and 15 incredible restaurants and bars. Plus, experience amazing activities from snorkeling and scuba diving to touring ancient Mayan ruins. This is a $1,294 value at one of Mexico's best resorts. Here's what others have said about their Vibes Resort experience.
Our experience has been flawless from beginning to end, from booking to getting here to transportation to everything. It's absolutely wonderful.
Here at the Fives in Cancun, loving it.
This has been an incredible resort. It's absolutely immaculate. It's right on the beach. The service is incredible, and we have absolutely landed upon a 5-star hotel. We've had an extraordinary experience, and we can't wait to come back.
Beautiful beaches, outstanding service, great food. We've had a wonderful honeymoon vacation. Highly recommend it. It's just beautiful here.
Do not miss this. Book your 5 nights in Cancun Riviera Maya now.
All right, it just can't get any more simpler than that. Go ahead and share the word. Let somebody else know about this. We're talking about the subject tonight or today if you're watching the replay or if you happen to be on the other side of the pond. Does fear live there? We're going to really talk about overcoming 9 of the most common fears that's probably stopping you from your success. So we're going to go there, but I have one more major announcement. Let me pull that up. I want to get you guys geared up now. All roads lead to San Antonio. Listen, home of the River Walk and remember the Alamo, right? Come on through 17th through the 19th of March. We have a registration link. One of our amazing partners, if you'll take that link and put it in the comments, that is the registration page. And you need to be here. If you can spell success, you need to be here because that's all this thing is. It's going to be about leveling up. It's going to be about upgrading your life. It's going to be about you living your best life. And we want to start you early in the year. This is March of 2023. Got an amazing video I'm about to share with you. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Here we go. Take a look at this and go ahead and register while we're on it.
Hey guys, we have Mr. and Mrs. Hart here. We're in Cancun.
We are in Cancun.
Hola! Happy birthday!
But they're headed to San Antonio. You don't want to miss March the 17th, 18th, and 19th of 2023. All roads lead that way. They are just the most amazing people you'll ever want to meet. And we have something to share with you. Meet us there.
I can't wait to be there in March and share with you guys. And this guy is the guy you want to follow in San Antonio.
We love you all.
All right, there we go. So let's make sure we get that word out. All roads again lead to San Antonio, March 17th through the 19th. It's going to be an amazing conference for you to level up on your life. Now, let's get to the subject at hand. Does fear live there? That's your address. Does it live there? Where I live? Where is it comfortable? Where does it reside? Where does it abide? Where is fear tonight? We're going to talk about overcoming 9 of the most common fears that's stopping you from your success. I'm going to put my PowerPoint in full effect here. That's the giveaway that you guys just saw just a moment ago. But let's talk about this thing. Overcoming 9 of the most common fears stopping you from your success. Look at that image there. I mean, some of us, when we really realize what fear does, what fear has allowed to happen in our lives, how have we responded to the fear? It has us, many of us, we're in hiding. Come on, guys, we're in hiding. The world is out there, and we're just like that person looking through a peephole, if you will, hoping that the boogeyman is gone so we can come out. Fear, in many ways, in many cases, it has us in hiding. Could I ask you tonight or today, you're watching replay, whatever, what are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? Because fear has many of us in hiding. Not only does fear have many in hiding, but fear is like that ball and chain. It has you in place where you only have so much leverage. You can only have so much movement. You can only go so far. You never leave past a certain point. You never go past that limit, that boundary, because fear is like that ball and chain. You're a slave. We're slaves many times to our fears. Does fear live there? We're going to be talking about those 9 of the most common fears and what we can do about those things. Another picture of fear. Fear is like the image you see here. Fear will have us running from our own shadow. It's neither this or that. It's us. It's our own shadow. But because we're operating with such a spirit of fear, it'll have us running from false images, even when the image is ourselves, running from our own shadows, our own selves, if you will. I'm telling you, fear will do a job on us. And that's why before I even talk business tonight, I want to make sure that you understand, until we deal with our fears, we're not even fit to improve and change our finances, because we'll just keep going backwards and forward like a seesaw, if you will. Not only that, but fear, you see the letters. One of my Scrabble lovers. I love Scrabble. But in this case, you see fear. It's on the surface, but you're going to find out tonight that very, very few times is the fear on the surface the fear that is doing the worst job on us. The fear that's on the surface, we tend to know what that is, and we tend to handle that a whole lot better than the fear that's underneath the surface. And tonight or today, if you're watching the replay, I want to help you to really excavate what that fear is, so that we can then overcome what it is to get to where it is that God said we can go and where we can be. So we're going to look at this, because really the outcome of where we need to be, we're going to flip that thing around, because it's all about our perception. It's about looking at it from a different angle, a different perspective, and fear for this day moving forward should be, we're going to face everything and we're going to rise, y'all. We're going to face everything and we're going to rise. We're going to rise above, but you can't rise above it if you never look at it, if you never face it, if you never identify it. So the beginning of what I want to do, I want to talk about the most common fears that we need to overcome. Some of the most common fears that are stopping us from success. So let me throw these at you, because I got some information for you tonight. Number one, let's deal with this. Y'all know it's very common. There are a whole lot of people that will never own it, but it is what it is. There is a fear of failure. Oh my God. It's just a fear like, oh, what if this happened? And what if that happened? It's a fear of things going wrong. What do you call that? Murphy's Law. That, they live and operate under Murphy's Law. Something is always going wrong. They never make it. It's never enough. It's always in the negative. It's always in the red. It's always in the dark. It's the worst case scenario syndrome. It's always that. And many people have a fear of failure. They think that failure is failure. Failure is just a lesson, y'all. Failure is just an opportunity to know what didn't work at that time. And many people, I could go name after name of persons who have failed, and their failure has turned into the amazing success that they enjoy today. So we got to make sure that we identify this fear of failure. Do you and have you been held back to the success that's yours, really, that has your name on it because of the fear of the failure? But then there are other people, beloved. It's not so much the fear of failure that's holding them back. It's not so much the fear of failure that's stopping them from the success that has their name on it. But sometimes there are people, I don't know if it's you, but maybe you might know somebody like this. They don't have a fear of failure. They're acquainted with that. They're accustomed to failing. They're used to it, and they don't have a problem failing. They have a problem with success. There are people who have a fear of success. Now, it's strange. Could it be that your fear of success is stopping you from success? And we're going to have to go deeper tonight. Dr. Picola, it's good to see you, darling. Your mind, your psyche, your emotional makeup, your DNA, your core, everything in your soul. Do you have, because you're rejected. It's like, when they have persons who get a transplant, and there are certain organs that can be, taken out of one body and inserted into another, but it has to be compatible. The DNA and all the chemistry of it all, it has to match. And if it doesn't match, it will reject it. Listen, there are some people, they will reject every ounce of success that's calling their name because they have a fear, y'all, a fear of success. Is there a certain level of success that you're not comfortable with? And because you're not comfortable with it, you don't think perhaps you can be trusted with it. You don't think you're trustworthy at that particular level, that particular measure. And because it's deep in your conscious, could it be that you're subconsciously rejecting it and stopping your own success? Some people have a fear of failure. Some people are dealing with the fear of success. But then there are others, listen, it's a fear of change. Lord help us tonight, a fear of change. In this world of change, the only thing that ain't changing is the fact that it's changing. Whatever it was 5 minutes ago is different now. We can't even keep up with the changes today. I mean, they're happening at such an alarming rate. It's hard to manage. And there are people, they get so stuck, so acquainted with one way of doing something. Maybe it was a computer software and you were on that thing and you were rocking it and you had it all figured out and you knew how to use it. And what do? They upgrade. They go from version 12 to version 15. And now you got to, relearn a whole new system and a whole new software. And you hate change. You have a fear of things. You want everything to stay the same. Could I tell you? It's just not going to be. Life is full of changes. The only thing that's not going to change is change. And of course, the thing that won't ever, the person who won't ever change, we do, but God doesn't change. Listen, guys, many times we're held captive. We're bound up, tied up, away from the success that we could have because we won't identify and we won't overcome the fear of change. But number four, one of the most common things we have to deal with concerning fear, the fear of people telling us no, the fear of people not liking us, the fear of people not agreeing with us, the fear of being the oddball out, the fear of being different, the fear of being unique, even the fear of being fearfully and wonderfully made. We many times like to fit in, and we like to get with the program and to, we like to go with the flow. But when God has called you to lead, when God has called you to make an impact, come on here. When God has called you to leave a legacy, guys, you got to be ready for the changes. And you got to be ready for some people not to understand. You got to be ready for some people not to agree. You got to understand that your DNA and your fingerprint and everything concerning you is you. And the plans that God has for you is for you. And there are others who will come with you and accompany you. But if you never take off and start moving in a direction, no one else is going to get there either. And many times we get stuck in a familiar place not realizing that the prophet is only without honor in his own country. And you got to be willing for folk to not understand. You got to be willing for folk to say no. You got to be willing for folk to disagree and all of that. And you got to identify and overcome this fear of people telling you no. That's very similar to the next fear, very common fear that holds many of us captive and stops us short of the success that we could be living in. That's the fear of losing people. Now, losing not necessarily in the fatal sense of passing on from this earthly existence, but, you know, the fear that, you know, they don't like you so much that now they're not your friends. You know, they were your BFF yesterday, and then tomorrow, because you made a decision that was for the best of your own life, now not so much. Listen, guys, let me tell you something. The people that love you. And it's not going to be changed because of that type of thing that we're talking about today. Say it again, the people that love you. And you got to get out of the category of thinking that everybody's going to love you and everybody's love is going to be the same. But those who love you, they will continue to love you. And the ones who don't, you can't, Mama, you say it this way, you can't lose what you ain't never had. So we got to identify and we got to get over and we got to overcome this fear of losing people, because some of the folk that you think that you're so afraid of losing, they don't care that much in the first place. Number 6, we got to overcome. We got to identify. This is very commonly known to stop us from our success. The fear of moving out of our comfort zone. Somebody help me right there. Talk back to me. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. The fear of moving out of our comfort zone. Minister Carolyn says, identifying your fear is a catalyst for growth. Absolutely. Praise God, Dr. Picola. Always good to be in your company. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Minister Carolyn says, change is the only constant in life. Carol Casper, my sister, says, faith over fear. Absolutely. Fear of success stops you from being successful. My God, y'all are with me tonight. Praise the Lord. Guys, we're going to go a little bit further. Let's take a look. But this whole thing that we're looking at tonight, I hope is beginning to make even more sense. But let's go ahead and pick up there again. Fear of moving out of that comfort zone. What did they used to say? They used to say, don't be afraid to go out on a limb, because that's where the fruit is. And some of us, listen, we want to hang on to the, to the trunk of the tree and think that, we're going to get the fruit at the trunk. No, you're not going to get the fruit of the tree at the trunk. You got to go out there on the limb. That's where the fruit is. Some of us, listen, and this is something for me. Sometimes we're too comfortable. That's probably my grade. We're too comfortable. There's some things that we can do for a long period of time, and we can keep that pace, and we can go on forever and a day till Jesus comes. And if you're really going to accomplish what God wants you to accomplish, listen, guys, we got to make ourselves uncomfortable until we can really get in a place that will be real comfortable. You understand? And then again, it's just a cycle. If you're going to keep going higher, remember Jacob's ladder? Every round goes higher and higher. So even when you get comfortable again, you got to be willing, if you're going to be a successful leader, to make yourself extremely uncomfortable. But we have a fear, many of us, of moving out of our comfort zone. Then number 7, one of the most common fears that's stopping us from our success is fear of the unknown. Good Lord. We just don't know. And if I do this, it could work. If I did that, it might be what we just, the anxiety of it. We get tied in knots. You feel like you start walking in that direction. You say, oh no, what was I thinking? I should go this way. And because you're caught between the yes and the no, the north and the south, the east and the west, you're caught everywhere. And because you're caught everywhere, you go nowhere. Because you're caught with everything, you end up with nothing, no thing, because you've never made a single-minded decision to focus on one way or the other. Do you know that many times we can make a mistake and God will even take that mistake because we were moving in our earnest faith and we were moving, trusting him and believing in him, and not for our own, grandiose whatever, but we really wanted to serve him and do things that would be better for everybody. But even if it was a mistake, God can turn that thing around, give us a U-turn and get us in the right direction. Sometimes we just got to step out. We don't know everything, guys. We see through a glass darkly. Most of us, listen, most of us who talk like we know all this stuff, we just don't know. I don't care who the prophets say they are. They don't know. I don't care who the bishops say they are. They don't know. We don't know most of this. Most of what we are dealing with is unknown. We've never passed that way before. And we need to trust God. We need to have hope. But if we see it, it's not hope anymore. If we can see it with our physical eye, it's not faith anymore. If we can do it on our own, it's not trust anymore. And God always wants us to have hope, faith, and trust. There will always be things that we can't see on our side. And we got to step into the unknown, making the decision that because we know him, that's all that is necessary. The fear of the unknown, y'all. Could it be stopping you from your success? Then number 8, listen, some folk got this one. The fear of hard work. Y'all know anybody like that? We call it the lazy bone. Just don't like to do nothing with a sweat. Don't like to do anything that's going to be too strenuous, too taxing, too demanding, too long. You know, they just love comfort so much that they have a fear of hard work. Your fear of hard work, listen, you can't get where you really want to go if you have a fear of hard work. Now, we need to work smarter, not necessarily always harder. We need to work smarter too, but we're capsized. Our boat is capsized whenever there's a fear of hard work. And then lastly, my friends, another very common fear, and I know it's stopping many of us from success, it's called the fear of you. You've probably heard the phrase the imposter syndrome. When there's something about us and our own disposition, there's a level of low self-esteem. There's a spot. It may not be your whole self, but there's something in the code. There's something in the DNA. There's something in the psyche deeply embedded, deeply ingrained, that when you elevate to a certain extent, you begin to question that elevation. You begin to question that promotion. You begin to question that increase as to the worthiness of it as it relates to you. Are you even worthy of such promotion, such increase, such favor? And you begin to almost destroy and dismantle everything yourself because you don't feel worthy of it. So you begin to dismiss it. You begin to downplay it. You begin to treat yourself as if you're not the person deserving of such. So we call that the imposter syndrome. Some folk got a fear of themselves. And could I ask you tonight, are any of those fears stopping you from your success? Let's go a little bit further. Fear, familiarity, some things that we need to be familiar with concerning fear. Listen, let me just tell you this. I'm going to run quickly. Number 1, we all got fears, y'all. Now, I know the word of the Lord. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, sound mind. We understand. But every human being, I'll say it again, every human being has some measure of fear. It's healthy, in fact. It would be foolish of us not to have fear. There are some things we should be very afraid of. Fear, listen, is human. It's a human trait, human quality, human characteristic. You're human, then there's some, we cut you open. We're going to find some element, some measure of fear. Fear will keep you stagnant wherever you are. We mentioned that earlier. It'll keep you. Let me go to that image. I want y'all to see that image again. It'll keep you stagnant. You ain't going no further than that chain, that ball and chain will allow. You got that thing on your ankle. It is not there for decoration purposes. It is not something that makes you look cute. It's keeping you in place. And fear will keep you stagnant wherever you are. Fear, listen, fears do not always dwell on the surface. We mentioned that. Let me show you the image of that. Want to be clear. They don't always dwell on the surface. Many times when you're looking at the fear, it's underneath. Now, we see it on top here, but it's the fear that is underneath. Dr. Mitchell, it's good to see you, sir. It's the fear that's underneath that does the most damage. Then, brothers and sisters, fear never stopped anybody. Only their response to it did. Ain't that something? You thought the fear stopped them? It was their response. You think fear can stop you? It's your response. Fear cannot stop us. It's our response to it that does. Listen carefully. Many of the most courageous people that ever accomplished anything, the most daring feats in life, they did so in the presence of fear. They didn't do it because fear was not present. They didn't do it because fear was absent. They did it in spite of their fear. Fear was right there staring at them while they were staring at it, and they still did it. Could I tell you tonight, if you're going to be successful, if you're going to go to the next level, whatever that level looks like in your life, fear cannot stop you. Only you can. You need to go on in spite of that fear. Then, if something is worth doing, having, and becoming, you must face that fear, scared or not. Somebody put that in the comments. Hashtag, I'm going to do it, scared or not. Hashtag, I'm going to do it, scared or not. Then not only that, fear must first be identified to be overcome. If I could tell you anything tonight or today, you're watching the replay, this is where some of us are. We haven't even owned it. And because we haven't owned it, it still owns us. You got to own that fear, because if you don't own it, I don't own it, we don't own it, it's going to own us. And to own it, that means we identify it. Until we identify it, we can never, ever overcome it. We got to identify that fear. Some are afraid of, being by themselves, and as a result, they tolerate and they settle for all kinds of things because they don't want to be by themselves. There are others, they're afraid of being with people. They love being by themselves. You got both extremes, but they feel as though people have so hurt them and wounded them or whatever. Their fear is being with people. They don't have a problem being by themselves. Their fear is being, so every relationship that could be beneficial and could be something that will help them, they tear it down. They don't even give it a chance. They shoot it before it even, that person came to help you and you just shot them. You killed them. That's fear, y'all. Once identified, it's time to rise above your fears as an overcomer. And that's what we are in the Lord Jesus tonight, y'all. We're overcomers. But you got to identify that fear before you can rise above that fear and live your life as such. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, face everything and rise. That's what time it is to face everything and rise. I want somebody to put that down in the comments. Face everything and rise. And we're going to go further. Let's begin to talk about this. Here's what Robert Kiyosaki said. Amazing gentleman. Much that he has shared with us that has made us greater. But he said this: knowing you need to make a change isn't enough. You've got to find the guts to do it. I like that statement. You got to find the guts to do it. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your finance. Maybe it's a relationship. Just knowing it, that's part of it. That's part of the battle. Identify it. But then we got to have the guts. We got to have the intestinal fortitude. We got to have the courage to go and do something about it once we know what that something is. Let's talk about this thing tonight as it relates to finance, because this is the direction we're now flowing. There are so many different things that we need to understand concerning what's going on in the land and the country today, and we're going to make it plain as we can, and we're going to do it quickly. Let me see if I can bring this up. Somebody say hashtag inflation is crazy. Hashtag inflation is crazy. And some of us are scared, because you can look at your retirement, you can look at your 401k and your Roth IRA, and you can look at all your investments, and things have not done as well as you thought by now they would have done. Some are afraid because they don't even have those things in the first place. And some don't even know what they are. You should be very afraid. But the point is this, y'all. No matter what, we got to have the courage. We got to have the fortitude to do something about it. We can identify that the dollar bill, y'all, is not what the dollar bill used to be. I mean, somebody, if you had a couple of hundreds in your wallet, a couple of $100, boy, you was loaded. You walking around with Benjamins in your wallet. Shoot, a couple of Benjamins ain't nothing today. What's $100? What's $1,000 today? We talk about millionaires and becoming a millionaire, but I want you to really consider this. A millionaire ain't what it used to be. Come on here, let's be real. There are homes in almost every regular neighborhood across this country, that come close or moving upwards into, could be $500,000 or something in that neighborhood. And that house is certainly not a mansion. $1 million, y'all, is not what it used to be because of inflation, because things have so drastically changed. And tonight we've been talking about fear and overcoming it and the most common things that are stopping us from success and all of that. But I want to make it plain tonight. If you've been having a fear of your future and what it can look like, I want you to pay close attention. Mr. Warren Buffett said this. He said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Can I tell you this? We need to be so armed, not just to work harder, as I said, but to work smarter. Because one of the fears is, will you have enough to live the lifestyle after your retirement that you intended? Will you have enough not only to sustain yourself, but to keep doing life as you desired and be able to, as the scripture says, to leave an inheritance for your children's children? Will you be in a position to do that? Well, let me tell you something. That job is not going to help you do that. You need something that you own. You need something that's yours. As Mr. Warren Buffett said, you need something that's earning income even when you're not clocked in at work. Bringing us back to Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about, this is the cash flow quadrant, y'all, these ways that wealth is produced. On the left side, listen, that's where the regular folk, where we've been miseducated. That's all I can say. That's the best way. We've really been drastically miseducated. I'm not talking to Lauryn Hill here. I'm talking about everyday. We've been miseducated. We've been told a mistruth that if we do this, this, and this, you go to this school and then you get a degree, and then you go to this to get a diploma, and then you go to that school, get a degree, and then you get a job, work there 40 years, and live happily ever after, yada, yada. Y'all know the story. Those were lies, y'all. Those were bald-faced lies. They knew when they were saying that they were lies, but it was to their advantage to keep everybody on that same stuff, y'all. Here's the stuff we need to get off of. Thinking that that's the only way to go. In fact, it's not the way to go. Now, maybe it's temporary. Maybe it's something. It's like a highway. You get on that road first before you get on the highway. These are the city roads, baby, the town and country roads. But to get to the highway or the higher way, where you really want to go, that's on the right side. We need to get out of all those country roads that ain't getting us where we really want to go, because 5% of the wealth is on the left side. That's not the highway. I'm going to say it again. 5% of the wealth is on the left side. That's from those who have the job to those who own the job. The ones who have the job, either way, you're working for somebody, you're working for someone else, building their vision, and you can never truly get wealthy there because your time is tied up in it. And even when you own the job and it's your business, your time is still tied up in it. And if you don't show up, guess what? You got to do everything that everybody who didn't show up, you got to cover their job. So you're never truly free. 5% of the wealth is there, but 95% of the people make a living on that particular road, using that particular method, either through employment or self-employment. That's the left side of the quadrant, is where the leftovers are, is where people get left, is where we need to leave if we catch a clue to the right side, because the right side is the right side. I see you there, Vanessa Lee. Thank you for chiming in. Deacon Kevin, much love to you. Listen, guys, the right side is the right side because 95% of the wealth is there, but only 5% of the people, in contrast to the left side, where there's 5% of the wealth and 95% of, man, it's crowded on the left side. It's like the projects. It's like the hood. Too many folk off in there, and there's not a whole lot of sharing and caring going on. But on the right side, y'all, listen, 5% of the population, but all of this wealth, all of this substance, all the resources. I mean, the stores are better, the shopping is better, the cars are better, the houses are better, the education is better. Everything is better on the right side. Why we got all these folk over here? Because they don't know that there's a better way. They don't know that they've been operating in a fear, thinking that they don't have enough to get to the right side. Can I tell you tonight, you got enough to get to the right side if you make the decision. The right side is based on those who own the business system and those who are making investments from business systems, and now their money is working for them. And your money will work harder for you than you do when you put it in the right place. Listen, 5% of the people sharing 95% of the wealth on the planet. That's what he teaches. I guarantee you, if you get cash flow quadrant, it'll bless your life and your perspective. Let's go and see what you guys are saying, and then we're going to move a little bit further. Mrs. Carolyn says, do it afraid. Carol says, I'm going to do it, scared or not. That's right. Dr. PK, do it, scared or not. Kevin, scared or not. Face everything and rise. That's right. Face everything and rise. Inflation is crazy. That's right. Absolutely. Inflation is out of control. Minister Carolyn says, Travarium is paying for my membership. I'm sleeping real good. I need them to pay another bill now. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, woman of God. Couldn't agree with you more. Listen, guys, we're going places, and we're trying to take as many people as we can with us. Because this ride, listen, you remember back in the day when them big old Cadillacs and Oldsmobiles and all the classics and the Lincolns, we call them Staking Lincolns and all them back in the day, when I was a kid. Man, you get in the back seat, and it would be 7 kids, 6, 7 kids in the back. I mean, they fit everybody. But listen, this thing that we're in, it's enough room for everybody. We are part of an $8 trillion, not billion, $8 trillion industry that has been here since man has been here. It's called travel, guys. Sound familiar? It's not going anywhere. In fact, even through COVID, while companies were going out of business, companies was going down, our company that we represent, called Travarium, it grew through COVID. In fact, the year prior, it grew by more than 400%. We almost doubled through the COVID. And right now, guys, we're waiting for the stats to come out. Some amazing things have already happened, and we're still just getting started. 10 years this company has been in existence. We've paid out tens of millions of dollars in commissions to everyday, ordinary people. And guys, we're taking people with us who have determined that they too want to go places. Let me just throw a few things at you. I'm going to move quickly. If you desire to go the types of places that we go, and we're talking about wherever you desire to go around the world and back, people are vacationing with or without us. The only problem is they're paying a whole lot more than they need to pay, and they just don't know it yet. But if ever you wanted to see yourself and your family go to those places where some people call it a bucket list, we don't believe in a bucket list. We don't even believe in a dream list. We just go. We go because the prices and the opportunity for us to go have been made so affordable. So whether it's your anniversary, whether it's that's my 55th birthday. Shout out to my main man, Dr. Phineas in H-Town. That's my 55th there, and we're just enjoying one another's company there, as you can see in that Turkish hot tub and all that. Guys, listen, you ever wanted to really take it to another level and just enjoy your life? Let me tell you some of these benefits. I'm going to run through these. Number one, when you're a part of this program, and you got to deal with your fear to understand it, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Maybe you failed before. Maybe it didn't pan out. Listen, this is something I've been a part of for 5 years. I have done nothing but one regret, that I didn't get started sooner. I've been a travel agent for 9 years. I love being a travel agent. But guys, let me share something with you. You can get travel agent prices year-round without being a travel agent because of this club. In fact, the reason that we became a part of the club, Kendra and I, is because when we saw the perks that it offers, we weren't even getting that as travel agents. So if ever you wanted to get travel agent prices year-round, this is the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your family. Reach out to the person that invited you to see this broadcast. Number two, if you ever wanted to get discounts on a whole bunch of stuff, from your dining to your online shopping to your entertainment to your concerts, musicals, theme parks, I'm a movie guy. Love my movie. Even your movie tickets. If you go to stuff that requires a ticket, guys, you're wasting money if you're not using this program, point blank, period. Number three, tax deductions. My God, my God. When you talk about the 450 plus legal tax deductions that we're able to get because of our membership in this club, it will blow your mind how much money you're throwing away by not being a part of this club. It pays for itself just on what you'll save on taxes alone. Number four, these are all travel club benefits for just being a member in the club. This is why you have to deal with your fear factor. You got to deal with all, because some folk, I don't know what, can't explain it. Number 5, you got to understand this one. No, number 4, the membership fee that you pay is the equivalent of putting your own travel on layaway. Some of y'all remember layaway if you're my age, but some of the young folk won't know what that is. They don't know nothing about their life. But let me just break it down. Layaway means that you're putting something on it so that when that time in the future gets there, you've put down enough payments that you don't have to pay anything when it's time to go. And guys, we have that plan. It's built into the DNA of our membership. So rather than running up your credit and maxing out your debt to income ratio, and now your credit score has dropped because of all that, and now you got to pay all this money back with interest, or rather than, get one of them crazy, ridiculous timeshares that I used to have 3 times myself, my wife and I, and paying those ridiculous mortgages and maintenance fees, whether you use it or not. This program will give you every single thing and some 10 times over. And guys, here's the reality. Every month you're making a payment, you're paying into your own travel moving forward. But here's what the company does, guys. Number 5, the company matches what you're putting in. So you're getting the leverage of increased buying power, because now you're in partnership, not just with yourself. If you're in partnership with yourself, you put your money in the credit union, put your money in the bank, put your money under the mattress, cookie jar, whatever you do. And if you put $1,000 in there, it's year's time, it's still going to be $1,000. But if you put a monthly membership fee with us, it's going to be double because the company is matching it. Number 6 is another travel club benefit with us. You're going to get access to over 2,000 Dreamcation escapes, guys. When you want to get away, you don't have to always wait to a vacation. Over the next 60 days moving forward, you can look in the back office with over 2,000 properties and make your selection. Guys, Kendra and I have stayed at places where prior to this program, we paid as much as $275, $350 a night. $350 a night. We could only do that 2 nights. That was us. But it was our anniversary, so we was, you know what I'm saying. So we did that, and we enjoyed it. But we said, boy, this show would be nice if we could stay an extra night. I said, baby, not right now. All right? But when I got in this program, guys, little did I know, we were able to stay at the same place on 2 different occasions. Could have stayed more. In fact, we might be going the next month probably because it's looking good. But anyway, we stayed there twice. We paid $119. No, not for the night, but for the entire week. Now, you do the math. $119 for the entire week or $275, $350 a night per night. Which would you prefer? Number 7, my favorite part, guys, we get access to the incredible, breathtaking world tours that are all around the world. I mean, we have so enjoyed ourselves. Karen and I, we last year we did Cancun. We did Vegas, and man, Vegas is different when we go with this program. I mean, the suites that we stay in, those suites look like households. I mean, all suites are not created equal in Vegas, guys. I'm talking about that top floor penthouse stuff where you look around, it's like, oh my God, I didn't even know this exists. That kind of stuff. We've stayed places like that. And then we also we had an incredible time in Montego Bay. And we have a lot of friends that have gone to Montego Bay. And and we've been before ourselves, but here's what we know. They've paid thousands. In fact, most of the time, $2,000 plus to stay, where we stayed $399, all inclusive for 2. So you do the math. This summer we went to New Orleans, and we had what a time we had in New Orleans. My 55th birthday, I did the Cancun, but the best part this summer we went to Belgium, and then we went to Paris. And guys, I'm telling you, it's so much you can do with the world tours. You'll absolutely love them. They range from Hawaii to Dubai. I think we got one planned for Rio de Janeiro coming up next year, down in Morocco. Guys, there's so many amazing places. If you want Tanzania, if you want New York, Chicago, Vegas, Miami, I mean, so many amazing world tours. There's over 100 every single year. You pick the one that you want to go to. In fact, you can go to several in the course of a year, depending upon the level of your membership. And then last but not least, guys, in this particular program, I love this part the most. You can share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with folk on your page that you don't even know, but they go know you. They gonna name their next child after you because they gonna save so much money on this program using our program, doing what they were going to do anyway, but you just saved them 2, 3, 4 G's a year. Easy. Guys, I'm telling you, it's amazing. And the more people you help, listen, all it takes is 3, and that makes all of your travel absolutely free. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I can go on and on and on about this program, but I'm going to tell you this. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Get over your fears. Ask yourself the question, does fear live there? And make sure that you're not allowing any of those fears to stop you from your success. I want to turn this over to our amazing hostess with the mostest, and I'm going to have her to close us out with her own personal testimonies, and we'll go with that on the close.
Oh my goodness, Pastor Mel, I was dropping mics all throughout this presentation. I'm like, didn't I tell y'all he was going to drop some nuggets? I mean, I remember when I first met you and we had the conversation because, hey, I was invited to watch a video and take a survey. Just like that text travel feedback to 888-532-26. It was a different number, but I'm telling you, look, I was asked to do the same thing, and 3 years later, 29 different vacations. I mean, Pastor Mel, you've been with me from the beginning. I was dropped off in your lap. You saved my life when we was on that swamp tour, when the alligator was trying to get me and the fish attacked me and jumped out the water. I think it was a piranha or something. I don't know. But I'm telling you, we both live to tell the tale, and you become not just my business partner, my mentor, my closer, all my partners, but you're like a big brother to me.
Absolutely.
And that's what this company gives me. It gives me family. It gives me financial stability.
Yes.
And it gives me, now I'm not dreaming about going to, I don't even know which one. Well, I'm trying to dream about which Africa trip to take.
Yes.
Because I'm able to choose from Morocco or Zanzibar.
Tanzania. We need to get together and decide on that because we got to get there. We got to get there.
Oh yeah. Look at that place. I don't know it, and you know how sweet, and our CEOs are just such awesome people. Who knows? He may throw Mauritius Islands.
Oh my Lord, I'm waiting.
And, you know, I mean, and we have that opportunity here. It's a travel club with a compensation plan attached to it. And the blessing in it all itself, it's a home-based business. And people just don't know what they didn't know. But now you know. So it's no excuse.
Yep.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. That's what G.I. Joe said. And that's what I say. I said what I said. Because I'm telling you, we've been bamboozled, hoodwinked all this time. I know. I thank the Lord. Because of Travorium, I just made my last payment for my student loan for the rest of them to be forgiven. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Because I would never tell anybody not to get an education because you need to know how to read and write and count this money. But it's not the only thing that you could do. Instead of getting 2 jobs, give yourself a pay raise on your one job, treat your business like you would treat your baby. And look, executive chairman is all I've been saying, executive chairman. You see my living room? So you got to see it before you see it. You see my living room with my grand piano in the background? And yeah, you got to see it before you see it. And just because it doesn't look like it right now, the sacrifice, because I haven't worked a job since 2013. Best decision I've ever made. And now I can come and go as I please.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to get to San Antonio. Once again, I was stationed in San Antonio. So once again, San Antonio, March 17th, 18th, and 19th. We're going to have an Emerald Ball. I already got my gown. I'm telling you, don't want to miss that. Be there or be square. We'll see you guys on the flip side or at the beach or at the bank. Hope to see you at both. Talk to you guys later. God bless.